Good evening. This is Melton Guy, James Melton Guy. It's been a few days since I've done a podcast, but uh, I've had some problems with my legs, my knee, and uh, all kind of things kind of held me back. And there's a lot of things been happening, and I was letting some things accumulate because I didn't know how to respond to some things. But I do want to respond, and I want to alert, and I want to make comments to groups. So this is for somebody. This podcast. As always, if you like the podcast, I wish you would subscribe. I need subscribers, and give me a like. There's some things that we've got to do as Americans, and I'm going to be blunt. I'm not going to hold back. That's what Democrats in Congress are doing too much of. They're not speaking loudly enough. They're letting this country go to hell in a handbasket by the Republicans. And I hear some people say Republicans or MAGA Republicans. As far as I'm concerned at this point, they're all MAGA Republicans because they do not have the guts to stand up to the fascist tyrant Donald Trump. So I do want to address some issues. But you know what? I want to start off by saying something to J.D. Vance. Just in response to something he said a few days ago, when Donald Trump talked with the president of Mexico after all this tariff situation come about and what Donald Trump threatened to do, and then he went and talked to the president, and he said they had a very warm conversation, and she conceded, as he was trying to put it. And what she did, she just said she would do exactly what she told President Biden and what they agreed to, and she would continue to do that. Well, Trump came back like he had really won an argument. Well, J.D. Vance said, well, you said talking would not do any good, so how do you like them apples? Well, I'll tell you, J.D. Vance, how I like those apples. I wish you'd take one of those apples and shove it up your ass and let me tell William Tell to have at it. You're a piece of crap, and I want everybody to know how I feel about you. You are a piece of rubber crap. And I say rubber because there's nothing solid about you. You're just an individual that was brought on board, and now you're playing fourth fiddle, sixth fiddle. And I'm not the only person that doesn't like J.D. Vance. If J.D. Vance could hear this, I'm not the only person that doesn't like you. Millions and millions and millions of Americans do not like you, even among MAGA Republicans. But all right, I said that about J.D. Vance. He's just part of the problem we face today. I've always said, but now I don't know if it'd make any difference, that J.D. Vance is just a heartbeat away from being president. I don't know if that'd make any difference anymore the way things are. We have no government. We have no Supreme Court. We have no Congress that's workable. And we certainly do not have an executive branch that's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that is taking care of the American people. They are destroying America one little tile at a time. So I don't really want to talk about this crap with Canada, our greatest friend and ally, and have always been. And Donald Trump's destroyed that. We'll never have the alliance that we had before. I hope I'm wrong on that, but it won't be with Donald Trump or any of his MAGA team, any of his cult members. And then this thing with Mexico, the thing with Panama, they're all ridiculous. These are our friends. And Colombia, my God, why Colombia? The threats that were made there. And then Greenland. which is Denmark, which is Europe, the European Union. Can any of you by now not tell how dangerous this man is doing us country, is bringing us to the edge of something that I can't describe? But I don't want to talk about that. No, I've talked about that so much. What I want to talk about, I want to talk to you. Any American person out there, whether you're MAGA or not, I want to talk to you. And I want to ask you, what in the hell are you doing? Are you not bright enough to know that Donald Trump saw you as a bunch of dumb mothers, and said, I can grab them, they can be my base, and I can do anything I want to do? That's what you did. You people that voted for Trump, if you voted for him, that tells me you're not smart enough to know that this man is a fascist, Nazi, crooked individual. Now we have in our presidency not only a fascist Nazi, but a convicted felon. And the whole world is making fun of us. Like Donald Trump used to talk about when Biden was president, how the world was making fun of us. That was a lie. Like everything that comes out of his mouth, it was a lie. Now it's the truth. They are making fun of us. All you have to do is flip around. Go to any country you want to. Listen to their news. Listen to their parliamentarian procedures and legislatures, and listen to what they say. Some of them are guests on programs in our country. You find those places, listen to what they're saying. They're not backing down from Trump. It's MAGA Republicans. It's Republicans, period. They're backing down from him. But like I say, I don't really want to talk about that so much as I want to talk about why you do what you do. Why can't you see what many, many millions and millions of Americans see in this country? And that is the threat to this country. What is it that will make you do anything and everything for Donald Trump? You elected Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and J.D. Vance. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, three of the biggest, dirtiest, lousiest, crookedest sons of bitches that this country has ever produced, with the exception of Elon Musk. South Africa produced him, and he came over here, and he's an interloper Nazi, joining the other Nazis. Now, if you could, let me present this to you before I go into anything else. If you could go back in time and take a little snapshot of 1933 to 1943, 44 Germany. You would look out there and you'd see people out there going on picnics and going to the movie shows or plays or whatever they did back then. Just out shopping, and just like everything was all right, walking the sidewalks, laughing and cutting up. Just like everything was fine. Not realizing what was going on behind the scenes. And that's what that's what us Americans are doing right now. I look out there and I see people that act like it never happened, that Donald Trump never became president, that he never became the dictator that he said he was going to be. I look out there and I see people that are just oblivious to what's going on, don't want to talk about it. But just like Germany, they didn't want to talk about it, and they act like nothing was going on until it was way too late. And if you don't think it can be way too late for us, you're living in a different world. What is it? Make America great again. What do you want to do? What America are you talking about? Are you talking about when white men said, hey, let's go over to Africa and other places and grab up some people and bring them back over here, and let's just make them our slaves and do our work for us? White men. that did that. Is that the kind of thing you go back to? You want to go back to when white men said it was all right to enslave these people and make them work in our cotton fields and all other agricultural areas or whatever we want them to do, they did it. It was white men that would cut off parts of their bodies if they didn't behave the way they should. Is that the America you want to go back to? Or the America when white men said it was all right that children should be segregated because one has one color of skin and one has another, and that was perfectly all right. Is that the America you want to go back to when white men said that was fine? Or when white men said it was all right for women not to have the vote? Matter of fact, that's even coming back. There are men making statements now, white men making statements, that the worst thing we ever did was give the women the right to vote. Is that the America? It seems that's what you're talking about, because that's what they're talking about. Going back to an America when white men said, well, I don't think we should give credit cards to women. White men said, only under unusual circumstances can a woman get a mortgage. Back to an America when white men said that women couldn't have any control over their body whatsoever. Is that the America you're talking about? You bunch of dumb. I'm sorry. Is that the America you want to go back to? Back to a time when we ruled all. We came to this country and we said, all these people that are already here, we have the right, white men had the right to make them leave. We even shipped some of them out all over this country. Is that the America that you want us to go back to? You want to go back to the America, what they call the good old days, when people didn't have a pot to pee in? Is that the America we're talking about? People, we have to come to our senses. You got to do all those things that we've talked about over the time. That is, looking and thinking outside of the box, looking behind, reading between the lines, not listening to what MAGA, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance are saying, but what is the reason behind it? Why are they saying that? I mean, have you come to grips with the idea that it's okay for J.D. Vance to talk about in terms that the Holocaust is not that big of a deal? Is it all right with you that, again, as in this first time, mamas and daddies are being separated from children because of the color of their skin or where they're from? Is that the America you want? Let me tell you something. To clear the biggest lie they keep trying to tell you. History will treat Joseph Biden as one of our better presidents, if not one of our best presidents, because of what he accomplished under amazing circumstances. With a pandemic, the wars in other places that we were expected as a country to do our part as Americans that we've always done. And on top of all that, an ex-president who lost an election fair and square, who interrupted, interfered in everything the man tried to do. And whether you want to believe it or not, if you'll check the facts, Joe Biden created more jobs than Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama together in a minute. And you realize I did not mention Donald Trump, because Donald Trump had a negative job growth. The only president ever to have a negative job growth. And then he lost the election. And he tried to overthrow the United States government, take away what we've loved and held so dearly for so many years. And you assholes go out and vote for him. I told you I was going to be blunt. If you can't stop for a moment and think outside that box, read between those lines, look behind those lines, look behind the voices of these fascist Nazis that are talking to you every day, and everything they say so far is a damn lie. A damn lie. Like the guy who replaces Pete Buttigieg, who said, well, there weren't plane crashes under Biden when he was president and under Trump. A lie. He said it knowing that it could be proved. You can't find any under Biden. But he just said it. You know why? Because Donald Trump has made it fashionable, an American, and that's the shame, to stand and lie to your face knowing that you're stupid enough to not check on it. I don't even want to say it this way, but because I've said it so many times, we have to wake up. We have to swallow pride, because I know there are people out there that know they voted wrong in this past election, but have too much pride to say, no, I was wrong and I voted wrong. They don't want to do that. So they stand firm and they'll let this nation go to hell in a handbasket before they'll swallow that pride. Are you one of those? I'm asking you, Daddy and Mama, grandfather, grandmother, take a good look at your children and your grandchildren. And you tell me, those Americas I talked about a while ago, is that what you want to go back to? Is that what you want for your children and grandchildren? Remember that little illustration I used about taking a snapshot in time in 1930s and 40s Germany, when they were walking around like nothing was wrong and nothing was going to be wrong. And they did that until it was too late. And everything that Donald Trump is doing is right out of Hitler's playbook. I will let somebody else tell you that. There are many who say I'm an expert on the Third Reich, Adolf Hitler. The only thing I'll say about it is I have read everything ever written about Adolf Hitler. And I know a lot about it. I know enough to know that most of what Donald Trump says, most of the playbook is right out of the Hitler playbook. I mean, yeah, they shouted one time, "Make Germany great again." So I wonder if Trump read up on Hitler a little bit himself. We know Elon Musk is a Nazi. We know Donald Trump is a Nazi. You can deny it all you want to. Proof's in the pudding. And J.D. Vance I guess he's going to be a Himmler or a Goering, one or the other. But he's out there lying through his teeth, backing his sugar daddy, Donald Trump or Elon Musk or whoever is president. We don't know. But people, you've turned this country over to mongrels who don't care about you and won't make anything good in the legislature that helps you. That's not their desire. Now, look at the tax cut. It's all out now. Nothing about no taxes on tips. Nothing about no taxes on overtime. 87% of it goes to the top 3% rich. Pay attention. Pay attention to what Donald Trump tells you. Because I'm asking you to, anytime you hear him say anything, the best thing you can do for this country is to consider it a damn lie. Because that's what it would be. But don't take it from me. Read between those lines, behind those lines. Think outside the box for a little while. There are a lot of good Americans. And we do want this country. But we want it back. And we want to make it better. And we don't want to make America great again because we want to be better than what we ever were. We want to progress. We want to take care of our elderly. We want to take care of our youth. We want to take care of our babies. We want to treat all people with the grace and dignity that God always expected of us, and I thought is the way we all believed. So for you good Christians out there, send me a list of what Donald Trump is doing, has done, that fits anywhere in the scheme of things as far as your New Testament Jesus said we're all about, or should be all about. The things I said, you let it go in water out the other, or you can give it a try. Just give it a try. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next roundup. God bless you.